Okay, welcome in. This is a bit different. So, not going hiking today. Just, basically just cruising around. I do have, a sort of a location set in mind, but, getting there is kind of sketchy, so, I'll be using my handy dandy Siri to kind of guide me. So anyhow, let's get started. So there's some back hills that can be seen from Jerome. It's currently 70 degrees here in Arizona at almost 10 o'clock in the morning. So yeah. Where was I? Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of see if I get to these, to where this certain section of red rocks are. It's not actually a red rock. You know, it's just a section that you can see from Jerome that's separated from everywhere else. So yeah. And plus I'm also, you know, I've got this new handy camera, just kind of checking it out and see how durable it is and stuff like that. So I'm normally using my my iPhone as my camera, so I figure by getting this, you know, it'd be less wear and tear on my iPhone and not draining my battery. So actually, let me pull over here. I should have done this before. Just kind of pop up over here, hit my hazards. Let's see. Get to. Okay, so I want to go. See. We can get me there? Nope. Let's see. Kind of like making my own direction here. Actually, if I go, let's see. If I go right here.
Starting route to Hermosillo Hot Dogs. Okay. Head west on Pine Shadows Drive, then take the first right onto State Route 89A South. At the stop sign, turn right.
Now, if you could hear this, I'm not really going to said location, but it'll put me roundabout where I want to go, and I could probably figure the rest from there. So, waiting for traffic to clear here. Alrighty, now I can go. So, yeah. There we go.
At the roundabout, take the second exit.
I don't know, it's just, life is really different here in Arizona. I kind of live in like Cottonwood / Clarkdale. It's really a slow pace around here. It's slower than what I'm actually used to. There's really not a lot to do here. I mean,
at the roundabout, take the second exit.
There's like you know, there's restaurants. There's like a few restaurants here. I'm right across the street from a winery. There used to be a Mexican food place here, also adjacent to that, but it closed down here month before last, and they had really good food. I don't know why they closed, but maybe it's a bad location because we're like because it's like way out of the way.
Keep right onto Clarkdale Parkway. Then at the roundabout, take the second exit.
So it's like I don't know, it just things are like really slow.
At the roundabout, take the second exit.
Oh crap. Okay, we'll do it this way. So
exit roundabout onto Clarkdale Parkway. In half a mile, turn right onto Main Street.
So, where was I? Oh, yeah, so, life here is like really, really slow, you know, it's slower than what I'm actually used to. I'm used to a fast-paced lifestyle of California, and I don't know, I mean, my sister, you know, she wants to move, which I'm inclined to agree with her, because
turn right onto Main Street.
it's here, it's like really, really different. I keep saying it's slow, and by slow I mean there's really not a lot here to do. Once the sun goes down, I mean during
onto 10th Street.
During the day, there's, you know, neat things to do. I mean, you know, you could go hiking out in Sedona, which I highly recommend. For any hikers out there, hiking in Sedona is just an absolute blast. But once the sun goes down, there's really not a lot to do because all the sidewalks around here roll up around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and I'm used to staying up to like, you know, midnight and 1 a.m. on my days off, you know, and it's just really, you know, it's really not really fun around here once the sun goes down, because I mean, it's like, I mean, where I'm at, it's basically,
in half a mile, turn left onto 10th Street.
They say that Arizona is like almost a retirement state, and it pretty much is, you know, but with Phoenix, if you tell people in Phoenix that you're from California, or they just automatically know you're from California or something like that, they really despise people from California, because God forbid, you know, I've actually seen bumper stickers on people's cars saying, and I quote, "Don't California my Arizona," which I think is really disheartening, because there is people laying in, you know, our our forefathers, people laying in Arlington National Cemetery, who basically fought for our freedom to go where we want, when we want, how we want. But apparently there's certain people in the, in this state that don't think so. And it's really, as I said, disheartening, to see that. So I don't know. It and it's basically like,
turn left onto 10th Street. Then the destination is on your left.
It's basically like, really too bad that there's people in this world who are like that, who are just so close-minded, they don't want,
at the stop sign, turn left onto 9th Street.
That's another thing about here, being in Clarkdale / Cottonwood, it's like, I've heard it said that people around here don't want change. They actually prefer their small little quote unquote sleepy town. They don't want change. They want it to stay the small quiet little town. It's like back home. We have a small little town in California, in Southern California, called Nuevo, and they don't want.
Then turn left onto Main Street.
They don't want change. They didn't want change either. And what happened there was,
turn left onto Main Street. Then turn left onto North 6th Street.
Now all they want is, now all the little town in Nuevo is basically crime filled. People go out there and get into trouble. They like smoke pot and stuff like that. Let me pull over here real quick. Turn this off. So yeah, let me figure where I am now. Let's see, I think I want to go back the other way. So, yeah, so this little town in Nuevo, the only thing that goes on there is, drug dealing and, drug dealers and God knows what else is there, because they too want to stay a rural town, much like Cottondale and Clarkdale and Cottonwood, they don't want to see growth, they like their small little town, it's really too bad that, they don't want to, quote unquote, grow up. So, let's see where I want, but I see where I want to get to, but how do I get to from here? Okay, that won't work. Okay, let's go this way. So, that's another thing about here. Cottonwood and Clarkdale and this, I'm like, 2 hours north of Phoenix, just to give you an idea. So we're kind of like up in the hills, so there we go. I thought so. So let's see where this goes. So, that's where I was going with this. So we're Clarkdale and Cottonwood are what's called a dark sky town, meaning that at night there is no streetlights whatsoever. There's barely any. That's where that is. Okay. So, it's the town is known as a dark sky town, meaning that there is no streetlights whatsoever. you know. So at night when you're cruising around, it's all dark, you know. And the reason why it's dark is so people could enjoy the night sky, you know, seeing the stars and stuff like that. Now, me personally, I honestly don't care about seeing stars. I mean, I guess I should in some sort of way, but I don't. That was interesting. Okay. Toto, we're no longer in Kansas, but I'm still gonna keep going. It just, you know, I don't know, I'm just not a stargazer type person. Yes, it's neat to, like, look up the sky and see the Big Dipper, Little Dipper, Orion's Belt. You know, maybe see a, you know, to see all the constellations and stuff like that. But I'm just not into that, you know, and that's what, most of those people are like out in Sedona. I mean, you know, all the stargazers and stuff like that. Huh. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to turn around. Okay, not at 303. Okay, so we're gonna have to turn the fuck around. We're gonna go this way. So, turn around here real quick. Not real quick, this is a tiny lot. And I'm sure people are looking at me like, yeah, this idiot's lost. Yeah, so what? Now, thank goodness I'm doing this during the day, because at night this would be pitch black where I'm at. I mean, so pitch black that, I mean, there is not one stitch of light. You know, no street lights out here. So, you know, when it gets dark out here where there's no street lights, I mean, there's actually in our neighborhood, because I live in a 55 plus community, there are no lights. There are no street lights. You know, the only lights you have are pretty much the lights from people's houses. You know, that's about it. We're gonna go up here. So I don't know. It, you know, just, I know every city has its pluses and minuses, but I mean, there's good and bad in every city. Let's see. Nope. There's good and bad in every city, but it's just, you know, there's pluses and minuses all over the world, but I'm not saying that the area I live is one big minus. No, it's not. You know, it's like the whole almost year that I've been here. Wait for these people. We're passing by the Verde Canyon Railroad. So, guess they're having some sort of function or something here today. Because there's, oh no, oh, huh. So I have to come back here. So yeah, just kind of tooling around. I'm trying to get back. So, yeah, you're the one-way bridge that I'm just coming across. Yeah, it's very one-way. But I mean, here, I mean, it's really different. I mean, because there's, you know, it's just a really slow pace of life. Because I'm used to like California, you know, I'm used to stuff being basically 24/7, you know, and out here it's not 24/7, you know, and it's, I don't know. I mean, I could honestly take or leave living here, but I don't know. It's just it's really not my thing. So I know that. Yeah, it's really not my thing. But I mean, I moved out here with some friends of mine, you know. They didn't, you know, they asked me, and at the time I was willing to do anything to get out of California because I was just tired of California. And moving out here, I've had time to think and reflect, so to speak, that, you know, I miss what California has to offer, you know, and plus as it, you know, as California states, where, you know, as California says, you know, where else can you go from the slopes to the beach in one day? You know, you can't do that in any other state but California. You know, it just, damn. Okay, how do I do that then? What I'm trying to do, I can't really get to, but the only other way I could possibly figure it out, but I don't want to drive all the way up the hill to Jerome, because that road's very narrow and it's worse than the Ortega Highway. For those of you who've driven the Ortega Highway, you know what I mean. But I mean, I after driving the Ortega Highway in like really dense fog, that night I was on my way to San Diego to rescue some friends of mine who were stranded by their car after a concert. I went to San Diego via the Ortega Highway because it was a shorter drive than hopping on the 15. But driving the Ortega Highway in dense fog, I thoroughly respect that stretch of road between the IE and OC. I thoroughly respect it, you know. Let's try going here. Oop, nope. Can't go. Don't think I can go that way. No. That doesn't lead me where I want to go. Okay. Yeah, they're doing construction in this area. I don't know what they're doing, but they're leveling an area for some reason or another. Let's see. How do I get there? I kind of see where I want to get to, but it's not. But it's not really leading me in a way I want. I need to go. Let's see. Okay, well this says, okay, this is a private road and a dead end, so if the screen should fizzle out, yeah. No, I'm joking. No, there's a place I could turn around up here. I've been down this road before. I could turn around up here. I just have to find the spot. Because where I'm now cruising to is basically a cement factory, so I basically have to like turn around after I cross this bridge. So wait for this truck to pass. Let's see, where is it? It's not here. I gotta turn around. Wait for you to pass there, sir. Oh, I can do it. are some neat areas out here, you know. I'm looking at this guy's house. He's got this little pond out in front of his house, but his house sits way down into like a canyon situation, so that's kind of neat. It's like, it's okay to live here, right? You know, it's sort of, you know, but to do anything, you have, I mean, it's like to do anything, you really have to drive far, you know, to do anything fun, you know. Granted, there's hiking in Sedona, which again, I highly recommend. From here to Sedona, it's like driving from, it's basically 30 miles, half hour. 30 to 40 minutes basically to get to all the hiking spots, you know. Or the hiking trails rather, I shouldn't say spots, I say hiking trails. Crap. Okay, I'm stuck. Not necessarily. Okay. We're going to go. We'll go up here. I'm gonna kind of head up to Jerome, but not go all the way there. Let's see if there's like a lookout point or a vantage point is what I was looking for. A vantage point to where I can kind of like plot a route to where I want to get to. Because right now it's not feasible to where I can see where I need to be, or need to get to rather. So I'm kind of heading up to Jerome, but not quite, because I'm only 4 miles from Jerome, but I'm 35 miles from Prescott, or should I say Prescott, because that's another thing that people say around here. You know, they can tell you're from California because you say Prescott when it's actually Prescott, and that drives me bonkers. All right, that just drives me absolutely crazy. It's like my late grandfather, God rest him, had always said Prescott, and that's what I know. You know, but people these days, you know, they don't correct you, but they do kind of look at you if you say Prescott. You know, you have to say Prescott. You know, and it's, you know, they don't tell you that, but you kind of get that feeling. You know, but kind of getting to where I need to be, to where I need to turn around and look. Yeah, it's the same thing with Flagstaff. I mean, Flagstaff is like 45 minutes, I think, half hour, 45 minutes away. And I've been to Prescott all of once since I've been here. We tried to buy in Prescott, but everything was like way out of our limits. Flagstaff, a friend of mine's been to Flagstaff. She said it's pretty fun. I wouldn't know, but because I haven't been. I mean, I've been through Flagstaff 500,000 times, but I just I haven't actually been, you know, stopped and checked out the scenery and whatnot, what have you. But 40, so shit. I think I'm almost committed to drive up there now. Yeah, I can't see from there. There's a pull off, but I can't see where I need to be. So, yeah, the same thing with Flagstaff, you know, here's something else that gets me, you know. I've always known it as Flagstaff, but apparently, people around here, they don't say Flagstaff. Even on the radio, they don't, you know, even on the radio stations out here, they don't say Flagstaff. They say flag, which bothers me too. It's like, it sounds too much like another word, you know, and it's just like, really, people, you know. And going back to Prescott, you know, it's Prescott, you know. Where do they get skit out of Scott, you know? So in my mind, I'm thinking, so if you say Prescott and not Prescott, you know, why do they, I mean, what do you call it? You know, why do you, okay, so if it's Prescott, and say you had a friend named Scott, would you call him Skit? You know, it's like, it's Prescott. I don't know where you guys get SKIT from. You know, where's that come in at? You know, so, I don't know. It, you know, and then here's something else. The closest movie theater around here is in Sedona. Again, it doesn't bother me because it's a half hour. What gets me is, hold on, here's a real sharp turn. Yeah, I'm committed. I started driving up, so now I'm like I'm in Jerome, but I'm not at the top of the hill, and I'm just about there, and I might as well continue the drive. Doing 45 miles over the speed limit. Okay, so, yeah, with the closest theater, yeah, like I said, it's in Sedona, 30 miles, you know. But what gets me about this theater, I think the last showing is at, what, 9 or 9:30, you know, and in most places in California, the last showings at like 10 or 11, sometimes midnight, you know. Sometimes movie theaters do run a midnight showing, but it's very rare, you know. It's just like, wow, people, you know, just, I don't know, just certain things about Arizona that gets me, you know. So, crap. Shit, I'm almost there now. I got the J in plain sight, the J for Jerome. The only thing about coming up here to Jerome is that parking is very, very limited, you know. And plus, some of the streets up here are very narrow, only because people park on the streets, which makes them even more narrow. What the hell are you honking at? Someone's honking at somebody. So, this is a neat drive. I wish I could, like, turn my camera around and show you. But I'm driving right now, and I've got a couple of people behind me, because beside me is a brick wall, and right about here, is it here? Yeah, there's a garage that has like jail cell doors on it, and okay, I've got to find a place to park now. I'm just about where I need to be. But parking up here is a complete bitch. I basically have to find a place to park. Yeah. The hell are these? I might go to park up here. Let's see. Oh, church parking only. Well. Let's see. No. Sorry, dude. Let me move out of y'all's way. I'm gonna go here. Let's see. Because the road just split, so I need to find a parking spot. Let's see, what's this? Pay by plate. Well, I'm not gonna pay to park because I'm not gonna be here that long. Maybe 15-20 minutes. We'll see. Let's see. I'm not gonna be here that long, so let's see. Or not. I don't know. No, this ain't it. Let's back up. Let's see. Got this guy looking at me like, what are you doing? Good question. I don't know what I'm doing. So, that's off. Let's see. We're gonna... Oh, shit. Wrong way. Alright. Wasn't paying attention there. Let's see. Maybe I can see a little bit better over here. Well, that didn't work either. I kind of see where I want to get to, but I think it's more like... Let's see. Sorry, y'all. Just sitting there babbling here. Let me get out of here. Let's see. We're gonna go. Okay, I have to be careful around here. Yeah, there's like parking is really technical around here because there's like blind driveways, which I'm currently at one. Okay, looks like it's clear. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Bear in mind, I'm not getting out. I'm just looking for a vantage point. To where I could see what I need to be at. So actually, I may or may not get out. It just depends. Let's see. I know where a really good vantage point is, but I don't want to go inside of a restaurant and just stand there outside. Just so I get a vantage point. And I'm hungry, but I don't really want to eat there. They have good food, don't get me wrong. The food there is excellent. It's a place called Haunted Hamburger. And if you ever find yourselves in Jerome, I highly recommend Haunted Hamburger. It's really good. The food there is absolutely amazing. No. Crap. Let's go. Let's go this way. Let's see. I gotta go back the other way anyway, because if I go any further, I'll end up going to Prescott, and I don't feel like going to Prescott today. So, yeah, let me just see what's going on down this street here. Let's see. Because I've never been down here. Okay, this is more parking. Alright. Let's see. Okay, this isn't where I need to be, because the mountain in my way is hiding what I need to see. So, I'm doing way under the speed limit, so let me speed up here a little bit. I wonder if I can turn around. Let's see. If I don't, there's a little mining, like, there's this place on a pad called Gold King Mining. I'm guessing it'd be like more like how you'd pan for gold at Knott's Berry Farm. Yeah, that type of situation. However, this is kind of interesting. We pull off over here. It's no parking, but great. Hold on. Who's calling? Okay. Let's see. Hello. Hi. Hi. Okay. Right. No, Don, I think you and I covered it. I really appreciate you, dude. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, you too, Don. You too. Thank you so much for giving me a call back. I really appreciate it. Bye bye. So yeah. Let's see. Let me take this off of my car stand here and show you just what I'm looking at. Let me unscrew this here. This is kind of interesting. Okay, so I can't get any closer to what I'm about to show you. Take my keys with me. Unlock. So yeah, let me just flip the camera around. Okay, so yes, there's no trespassing, but most importantly, let me see if I can zoom in here. Shit. I wish I was tall enough to do this. Let's see here. But yeah. That's what I'm looking at. Just that neat mountainside right there. Sorry for the chain link fence, but it's fenced off. It's private property from here. So I just like the way that looks. All the different colors and stuff like that. But yeah. So yeah, we're not trespassing. And the thing that got me, I don't know if I captured it, was this sign right here. Beyond this point. Wow. Okay. So that's that. So yeah, just out kind of venturing around today. Okay, everything's in there. Alright. So back into the truck. Put this back up on my mount here. Pardon me. Come on, you silly thing. There it goes. pasting it back in here. Give me a minute. Let's see. Come on. There we go. Looser. Yeah, that'll have to work. Oh, hold on. I know what's wrong. Let's see. There we go. That's better. I was wondering what was wrong. Figured it out. Forgot to zoom back out. Actually, let me just zap a picture of that. Let's see. So, let me see if I can do this. So, yeah. Anyhow, so put my seatbelt on. That back on. Flip the AC. Jerome's a neat little town. It's honestly, it's a tourist town. It's very touristy, much like Sedona. It's like with all the with most of the hiking trails and uptown Sedona, it's very touristy, let me tell you. It's touristy AF, alright? It's almost like, as you get closer to uptown Sedona, it becomes like LA at any time, basically. Because it's like, there's only one way into Sedona and one way out. I mean, you could go right through Sedona, but the closer you get to uptown Sedona, the more congested, the more compact it gets. I don't really want to park at the fire station to get this shot, so I'm not going to. Let me see. Let me wait for these people. And of course, there's no parking over here because you have to get up here bright and early to get a good spot next to here. I'm almost pretty sure there's not a parking spot right there, and there's not. Shit, sorry. That's kind of narrow. Okay, one way down. I'm going here. There's neat places to eat at up here. You've got Haunted Hamburger for one. The Clink Scale. I've heard they're really good, but the Clink Scale I've heard is vegan, so I don't know. You have the Copper County Fudge Company, which seems to be really good. I don't know. I mean, has really good candy from what I've heard. Let's see, we're gonna go down this way. Let's see. I'm just gonna kind of take it slow and go. Yeah, cause as I said before, the roads around here, or the street to get up here, is really narrow, and the cars that park along the sidewalk makes it even more narrow. And I still can't figure out how to get to that point. Shit. I mean, there's some neat little houses up here. God only knows how old they are, you know. Yeah, I mean, during the day up here is kind of cool, but I mean, again, I said it's touristy AF. But coming up here at night, I don't think I could do it. Because even during the day, you kind of sense a vibe around here. Something like something's not cool, you know. Because I've heard Jerome is like haunted. So, I mean, they even give tours, haunted tours around here. I can't remember the dates and stuff, but broken glass. There's like sparkly things in the road, and there's the sun reflecting off of the glass. So yeah, it's really neat out here. Really neat in a touristy kind of way, you know. I don't know. Taking it slow and go, because there's an RV in front of me, so, and he's like almost riding his brakes down, almost. And we have Arizona, we have Jerome's Finest up here. Almost looks like he's hiding, but he's not. I have seen people fly like bats out of hell coming up and going down this road. I personally would not, because it's very windy. It's not very windy, but if you're not familiar with the road up here, which I'm kind of familiar, because I've driven the Ortega Highway, so I'm, you know, I respect this road, so, you know, so. I mean, I've you know, again, I've seen people like fly up this road and down this road. I'm just like, good luck. You know, it's like when you're driving on a curvy road, you know, you just don't do stuff like that. I mean, when I drove up here shortly after we moved out here, a friend of mine and I drove up here, and I wasn't really enthused with it, because a lot of brush was like dead. And now with everything greening up, you know, everything looking like lush and green, it doesn't look half bad, you know. It's kind of neat, you know. But, you know, yeah, dude, I get while you're like taking this slow and go, dude. You are absolutely fine. He just pulled over. Yeah, he had a tail of cars behind him. So, I want to say that area rock. It's like, I want to say that more like out towards Sedona somewhere, I think. I'm not sure. It's just, I don't know. Like say, okay, I just saw a sign that said Flagstaff. We're about an hour away from Flagstaff. It's 56 miles. So basically an hour. So let's slow down here. I'm doing 50 down this stretch of road. I mean, this stretch right here isn't too bad. It's not as windy, but you don't want to like let the road get away from you. There's guardrails, yes, but guardrails aren't always, you know, that safe. So I don't know. So I mean, yeah. I really don't know anymore. You know, it's like I left Disneyland making what, $23.75 an hour. And I came out here for 17 something an hour. And I don't know. It was like a slap in the face to me. You know, to take such a huge pay cut, you know. And plus, you know, okay, I get it, you know. It's like out here the cost of living is cheaper, you know, and so is gas, I get it, but in the same token, the pay scale out here just sucks, you know. You know, places out here don't pay very much, you know, it's like, I work at a grocery store, and I've already put in 18 years of work in retail, 2 big box stores, you know, Walmart and Target. Walmart for 13 years, Target for 5 years, and now I'm back, and now I'm kind of working retail again, you know, working at a grocery store. You know, I've had my fill. I'm done. Pardon me. So, granted, from what I'm told, I complained about Disneyland, but it was different, you know, and that's what people don't understand. The way when I say I complained about Disneyland, it was different, you know. Then it was different in a way that I would sit there and complain about how Mickey is like really tight with his money, you know, so to speak, you know. Versus here, it's like, you know, businesses are willing to pay pennies on the dollar to their employees by doing, you know, almost back-breaking work, you know, almost, not quite, you know. So I don't know, it's like Arizona is more of a, in my opinion, Arizona is one of those states where it's good to visit, but I wouldn't want to live here anymore, you know, because I'm kind of like done. See where these people are going. Yeah, I'm at a roundabout. That's another thing. I'm like about a block away from my pardon me. I'm a block away from where I live, but yet I've got to go about 1.5 miles out of my way just to come back, because I can't just turn into it. I've got to go through a roundabout, then go all the way down to another roundabout just to make a U-turn and come back at it. You know, it just, I don't know, to me this doesn't really make too much of sense. But from what I've seen on Apple Maps, there used to be, where roundabouts are now, there used to be intersections. I don't know when they put the roundabouts in, but I think it's kind of stupid. A friend of mine's husband said when he brought me home one night, he kind of made the same comment and said, you know, it was poor city planning, you know, and I'm like, and I was intent to agree with you, you know, it's like, why do this, you know? They should have left them as intersections, you know. But I mean, I get why there's roundabouts, because you know it keeps traffic going. But in the same token, it's like, what was wrong with intersections? You know, one of those things. So I don't know. Stuff that kind of irks me about certain states, you know. Just, I don't know. Let me move over. You know, it just kind of gets me, you know. I mean, even the kids around here. I was at Walmart one night. This has been a while ago now. This kid was talking to his friends, because his friends were, I guess he was off work, and he was talking to his friends who were still at work, and he said there, you know, and this Walmart's here in Cottonwood, and he tells his friends, he's all, there's nothing to do here. We need to go somewhere. We need to find something to do, you know. And I couldn't help but overhearing, but I kind of looked over at him, got his attention. I go, well, there's always Prescott, and he just kind of looked at me, rolled his eyes. He's all, no, and I felt that. I'm like, yeah, I get what you're saying, dude. You know. So yeah, I don't know. So, okay, so somehow there's a way to get there, but I couldn't actually find it. Even after going up to Jerome. Kind of. Well, I'm back here at my little community park here. So I don't know. Would have gone into town to get me something to eat, but I don't know what I want. It's 11:02, 35 degrees here in Arizona, Cottonwood, USA. So, I don't know, just little things just irk me, you know. I shouldn't let it, but I do. There's just so many things I miss about California, you know, and I'm hoping that come October that my sister and I will make a safe journey back to California. Granted, it's more expensive out there and blah blah blah, or not blah blah blah, but it's more expensive to live, and things are more expensive out there. But you know, it's where my roots are. Granted, I could start anew anywhere else, but just there's so much more to do out there than there is here. I tried looking for fun. There's like what 3 bars in this area, and if you've been to one bar, you've been to them all. And they all close at midnight. You have the main stage, which closes at midnight. They used to have a restaurant attached to it, but it hasn't. But then I've heard recently that they got another restaurant in, so I haven't been over there to check that out yet. Then you have the Crow. I don't really care for the Crow because there's also like 18-year-olds there. Not in the bar area, but there's like there's like an arcade type area to where you can play like some video games and stuff like that, and these little teeny boppers, these 18-year-old guys, try to act all butch and shit. It's like, you know what, dude, I'm 54 years old. Step off, So, that's why I don't really necessarily like the Crow. The Crow does have good food. I was there once. I got like a sandwich or something, and it wound up being really good. There's a bar next door. Haven't been to that one, but as I said, if you've been to one, you've been to them all. But yeah, interesting. Huh, my sister was supposed to be off at 6 or something, and she's already. Oh no, she's not. I got it mixed up. Anyway, so I appreciate y'all for coming along on my little adventure. Sorry I didn't plan out. I was hoping I'd be able to find a way over to the certain section I was looking for, but thanks for playing along.